I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it, move it, move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move.
Yeah, I know you had a long, wonderful weekend, but it's time for math class. All right, we're going to start stepping it up now. We are going to start adding and subtracting unlike fractions. Okay, remember the rules in fractions. When you add and subtract fractions, you must have like denominators. So if you do not have like denominators, we have to find equivalent fractions, which we've learned how to do, for each of those fractions or one of the two fractions so that both of them end up with the same denominator. Okay, what does that look like? Well, let's look at this one. One way to do this is called finding the easy common denominator. One way to find the easy common denominator is simply to multiply the two denominators, 3 times 5 and 5 times 3. When you do that, that gives you a new denominator of 15 for each fraction. Okay, what did I do to 3 to make it 15? I multiplied by 5. Multiply the denominators. 3 times 5 is 15, so what I do at the bottom, I must do the top, so 1 times 5 is 5. 1/3 is equal to 5/15. Okay, the 5 I multiplied times 3 to get 15, so 2 times 3 is equal to 6. Now I have 5/15, which is equal to 1/3, plus 6/15, which is equal to 2/5, and now I can add them. 15 is my denominator, 5 plus 6 is 11. That's what we're going to learn how to do. Alright, so we're trying something new now. What I've got is a video embedded here. I want you to watch this video, and then we'll move on. Good luck. Oh, and by the way, you got to push the play button, and it'll play the video. Now I want you to watch this video on how to find easy common denominators. Pause your video or play the video here now. Alright, now turn your books to page 207. Now let's put this finding the easy common denominator into practice. At the top it says find equivalent fractions for each fraction. To add them, they must have the same denominator. We call this a common denominator like we've talked about. Show below the number lines how to find the equivalent fractions numerically. So we've got the whole picture here where it's got the fraction, where the first one we're looking at, number 1, is 1/2 plus 1/3. We've got a denominator of 2 and a denominator of 3. The only way to get these is to multiply them to get 6. Okay, 2 times 3 equals 6. So when we look at this, we have a new denominator of 6. The 6 in there and the 6 in there. And 2 times 3 is 6, so 1 times 3 is 3. Multiplying this side by 3 and 3. The 1/2, and multiply the 1/3 by 2 times 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. And then we have the common denominator here is 6. And when we add these together, we see a total of 5/6 would be the answer. Okay, again, we multiply the two denominators to get the same denominator. Alright, now let's look at the next one. You see at the common denominator, we've got 4 again, and 3 is the denominators, and 4 times 3 is 12. We multiply the 4, 1/4 times 3/3, and the 2/3 times 4/4. And we get 3/12 and 8/12. 3/12 and 8/12. And 3 plus 8 equals 11/12. The denominator we did was 12. Alright, now we don't always, there's other ways we can find common denominators sometimes, and that is just finding the lowest common denominator. We're going to now look at the next page. Alright, now here's another video. This one is about finding the lowest common denominator. It allows you to find denominators that aren't so big. When your denominators are large, you don't want to always multiply them together, but this will help. So watch this video and push play on the video, and good luck. And this is another video I want you to watch. This is about finding the lowest common denominator. It's going to show you ways that you can find another denominator that is different from just multiplying the two denominators together. Watch the video. Good luck. Alright, now I'm going to use the book. Turn the book to page 208. I'm going to use those problems, but I'm not going to actually take a picture this time of the pages. I'm just going to use the fractions here. So we're going to start with number 5. And number 5 has the fraction 7/10 plus 1/5. Sometimes when we look, I like to look at pick one quick clue and see, does the smaller denominator, which in this case is the 5, does the smaller denominator fit into the larger denominator equally? In other words, can I multiply something times the smaller denominator to get the larger denominator as the answer? And in this case, yes, we can. If that's the case, the 7/10 gets to stay the same. We don't have to change that one. My common denominator in this case would be 10. And I need to change 1/5 into something over 10. So 5 times 2 equals 10. It's supposed to be an equal sign. So that means I got to multiply 1 times 2, and that equals 2. And now I'm done with this. I've got now 7/10 plus 2/10 equals 9/10. I can make 10 my common denominator. Let's look at number 6. 6, we have 3 11ths plus 1/2. In this case, 2, I cannot multiply 2 times anything to get 11 equally. Okay, and I know that 11 is not an even number, so I know I've got to multiply these two denominators by each other. So 2 times 11 is 22. 22. There's going to be my new fractions. Okay, so 11 times 2, so 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 11, so 1 times 11 is 11. My new fractions are 6/22, 6 over 22 plus 11 over 22. New denominator is 22. 6 plus 11 is 17/22. Okay, that's like the other ones where sometimes you have no choice, but you have to multiply the denominators together to get a common denominator. Number 7, here we have one like the last video you just saw. 1/6 plus 3/4. Okay, now again, we can take the multiples of 4 and 6 until we get one that's in common. And according to the video, they did it like this. We have 4 and 6. And 4 times 2 is 8. 6 times 2 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. And we've got a common denominator. Okay, change these both into 12. 6 times what? Times 2. So 1 times 2 is equal to 2. My new fraction is 2/12. 4 times 3. So then we have 3 times 3 equals 9. And I got my new fractions 2/12 plus 9/12, and that equals 11/12 is my answer. Alright. Now, let's get ready to practice this on our homework. Okay, tonight for homework. And in class, I'd like you to start this. Homework and remembering 5-14. Again, we're now getting to the point where we need to find a common denominator. We have different denominators. You cannot add and subtract fractions unless they have like denominators. Like denominators and common denominators are the same thing. Find common denominator, change both fractions to equivalent fractions, then you can add or subtract. Homework remembering 5-14. Good luck. And may the force be with you.